you guys comfortable?
So back about in 2000 and maybe 10 or so, I came to the Salvation Army for the first time, and I saw you standing at the front desk.
I remember when I first saw you, and you came in. You came in with such a sincerity about needing some assistance and where you was, and at that time, that point in time in your life. And that's all I needed to hear, because, I show up to do everything I can to help anybody that's coming in. I remember telling you, anything you need, let me know, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
That's it.
A lot of stuff comes along with homelessness. That's the last thing I ever want to do, is remind somebody of what it's like being homeless, or, what to expect or what to experience.
Being homeless repetitively was very embarrassing, And then I come to the front desk the second time, and then the third time, and you never once was like, again? Or you never looked at the repetitiveness, but you looked at, we could do it again. But in between those times, I was struggling with, drugs and being abused and abusing in my relationships. And I know we would have talks about our relationships, but I never shared that stuff with you. Even though we seemed very settled, it took away a lot of my push, which is probably a lot of the reasons I didn't finish real estate. I mean, I did real estate for a while, but I wasn't able to continue college. I didn't continue my housing situations. I couldn't continue. Right. And I just kept falling and looking at something so settled. I guess I drowned myself in smoking and drinking all the time, and it took everything from me. If it wouldn't have been for Salvation Army, and you, and David, and Emily too. I remember her. She even helped me.
I remember Emily.
You guys were so much like family, and involved with helping in every single area of my life,
Yes.
From mental health to the school, and to the jobs, to the clothing, and the meals were the best. And it helped me know that I could live perfect and better than where I was living, And now my life is totally different.
Awesome.
I remember you telling me, but how long you had been at Salvation Army, plus the time you actually moved in.
Miss Harriet has been homeless before. I've had my experiences with using drugs. I've had my experiences with being incarcerated. I've had all those experiences for a lengthy period of time. I mean, I'm talking about 30 years,
right.
A long time. And, people give up on you, people say stuff, and, it's not easy to have somebody to always lift you up.
Right.
And sometimes, when you don't believe in yourself, to have somebody to believe in you, and say, well, if they can believe I can do this, I can do this.
It's true.
And so I purpose to do that
Yes.
every day. Nobody never get on my nerve, and I say in my mind, sometimes I have to say the same thing over and over, and I'm okay with that.
Right. Yes.
I'm very grateful for the Salvation Army, because I had been through a little struggle myself, and I was able to stay there and work and save my money and get back on my feet. Salvation Army worked out for me good too, so I know if it worked out good for me, it can work out good for somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest stories.
Yeah.
Like when I'm out amongst my associates that they looking for somewhere to stay, or they out on the streets. I'm like, go to the Salvation Army.
It'll work if you
they
work
have
it.
this idea like, I'm not going out there with all them homeless people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, gosh, you just don't know. They will change your life.
Yes. And we all can, many of us can use that help who has faced different struggles in life, whether it's homelessness, whether it's addiction, whether it's, mental, whatever. But just being reminded of how to do the life skills thing, the budgeting thing, the whole 9 yards. And because of the funding, we're not, oftentimes you can't have people in those positions to help, one-on-one, or, you know what I'm saying? Because it's more to just sitting in a class once a week for an hour. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah. So it's just the funding thing. No amount is too small, and no amount is too, there's the sky's the limit. To give. I think it helps as far as our society is concerned, as far as our schools are concerned, just as a whole.
So that every dollar is another step to helping somebody change their life. Every cent helps change a person's life.
Homeless person comes to the Salvation Army, we work in tandem with many different organizations to try to end their homelessness. In Coritha's case, because she was a veteran, she was referred to us. The plan is to provide her case management financial assistance with her housing. The program that I work with to house the veterans pretty much runs on grants from the federal government, from the VA, and that sort of thing. But the programs that help support the veterans and other homeless while we're trying to help them, they're not. Their only source of funding is by contribution. They don't have grants for food in our kitchen, and they don't have grants for the furniture that we get. That is all through donations. One thing I really enjoy about working with Miss Harriet is that she cares very deeply about the clients. When clients come to her with a concern, she'll be on the phone with us. Dave, your client is here and they're concerned about such and such. To have somebody that has gone through what they've gone through to be at the front line there with the clients is a great benefit to the clients. And in the place where they're staying, it's great that one of the strongest advocates is the person that they probably talk to most, and that's Miss Harriet sitting at the front desk.